Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is Turning Points and New Technology. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using my posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these posts a long time ago, and the world has completely changed since then, even though this information still seems really relevant. If I encounter anything that seems out of date when I'm reading, I will interrupt myself and give you the most recent information. And at the end, if necessary, I will do a summary of the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Turning points and new technology. Something many people are feeling nowadays is a sense of ennui. It's like there's no wind in their sails, no current taking them in any direction. In more extreme cases, it feels like someone's picked their boat up and put it down in another ocean, in another hemisphere. All the stars are wrong, so there's no way to navigate and no energy to move with. This is one way of experiencing a turning point in one's life. I've had these feelings at certain times of my life where I was making a major transformation of one way of being to another. It seems more prevalent now as the outer reflections of the economy, job market, real estate, stocks, politics, or whatever is going through radical changes as well. Pretty much everyone, it seems, is going through some kind of transition right now. What can you do when this happens? Get out your oars and row with no sense of direction? Hunker down and wait for something to change? Stand on the deck and yell for help or flash SOS with your beacon? Or go below and read a book and pretend everything is fine and dandy? Well, any of these things are fine. It really doesn't matter what you do. Change will happen whether you paddle or not. The feeling of no energy, of ennui, lack of motivation, comes when you are stepping out of an old way and are stepping into a new way of being. It's disorienting for your body personality because suddenly it seems like there isn't anything familiar anymore. Old ways of doing things don't work. There's no enthusiasm or sense of calling. It's yourself as consciousness that is doing the stepping, and yourself as consciousness that knows the bigger picture. If you feel like paddling, then paddle. If you feel like reading a book, then read. There's nothing you need to do to take the next indicated step, whatever that seems to be. One of the challenges I've been going through working on this accelerated level is my old tools and techniques don't work, or don't work the way they used to. I've slowly come to understand why. When I first learned them, which was in the early 1980s, the tools and techniques were based on first century Christian and Eastern mysticism. A lot of the analogies I used for understanding them were based on the technology of that time. Things have changed a bit since the 1980s. Recently, I let go of a whole group of unseen helpers, known as guides or devas, and brought in a new staff group. The old staff group was represented by one image, a guy with a long gray beard and robes. The new group was some trendy young guy, too shimmery to get a clear picture. They shook hands, and the bearded guy left, presumably to get on his camel and go out to the desert. As I was observing this, I was thinking, I need to have an energetic staff meeting to get to know my new guides. They immediately told me they don't need meetings, but how am I going to communicate with them? They flashed me the impression that they'll text me when needed. Suddenly, I got the impression that, yes, they'll send me ideas and inspiration via psychic texts. I suddenly feel like I'm working with 20-somethings, just 20-somethings that are ageless and formless, and wireless to the nth degree. Something I've noticed before is that technology is mankind's way of replicating spirit. We invented the airplane so that we could transcend the earth. We created phones and email to replicate telepathy. The internet replicates the Akashic records or cosmic consciousness. In the movie Bruce Almighty, Bruce is given God's abilities for a period of time. At one point in the film, he hears everyone's thoughts. That's like social media. So technology has shifted from typewriters to computers to iPhones, and energetically things have shifted as well. There's a whole lot of retraining going on, mostly unconsciously. However, it doesn't have to be difficult or take effort. Relax and notice what's different for you. Validate what's changed. Allow the evolution. And if you're noticing these kinds of experiences, leave me a comment below. I'd love to read your comments. The thing I'll just say about this is that it's true, I found that my old techniques didn't work anymore because my hologram had upgraded. And so my tools and techniques needed upgrading as well. However, I think that upgrading is going on all the time. It's just a process of relaxing and going with the flow that allows us to integrate all the changes that are happening. If you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up, and also please click the bell icon, and that way you tell YouTube to share them with more people in the world. This information is so important and can really help someone. If you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link to the skybox technique. It'll give you a bigger perspective of what's going on in your life and give you a more multidimensional way to see things. I also have a self-study available called Manifesting Money and Miracles. It's a great basic training in learning how to shift and change your energy within, which changes your reality as well. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I do individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today. And I can answer any questions that you might have about your relationships, work. I talk to dead people. I can look at the future, and it's recorded just for you. And if you want to know how to do this for yourself, my self-study is a great starting point and a great preparation for my coaching special, where I work with you one-on-one and give you specially chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow with another Morning Musings.